You've established the what, now you're waiting for the CSO to tell you what to do. As you're expecting, you actually are expecting something good from this practice. So you're carrying that happy state that you were in your morning practice with you, and you are able, even scientifically with the release of dopamine, more able to see possibilities. Well, another name for lead is possibility. It's the CSO's job to deliver the leads. It's not your job. How do leads show up? How do we get those messages? Well, one of the ways is sort of an awareness. Just sort of know what the right thing to do is in a particular situation. Another one is a hunch. I sometimes get that in my gut and it brews there. Or I'll have a flash of somebody else that'll show up. A great example of that is I have a friend, and what she wanted to do was have a good retirement plan. She had no retirement plan at all. And so that was part of her good. She wrote it down, and sure enough, she gets this flash of this woman's face in her mind's eye. So she calls her, says, I have no idea why I'm calling you, but I just felt called to do it. And so what's going on in your life? And they start this exchange, and my friend says, you know, one of the things that I have been looking for is an opportunity to put together a reliable retirement plan. Well, funny, you should call. I have this group of women that are high finance, very successful businesswomen, and we just started a finance club. And we're going to plan for retirement, and we're also going to invest together. Would you like to learn more? She would have never thought to call that woman had she not had a flash first. Signs are different messages. I sometimes get them on billboards. I'm not kidding you. In my last company, I had an opportunity to sell our business to a very, very large $5.5 billion company. And I wasn't quite sure if we should consider the sale or not. So I asked for a sign. And here I go driving down the road, and on a billboard it says, your fortune will be made in San Diego. I've never seen that sign since. And that happened to be where this corporation was located. Does anyone have an example of a lead that was really memorable? Something that you thought, oh, well, okay, I'll take this step.
I used to work for Washington Mutual, and I was a senior vice president there, and I had a lot of stock options. And in 2006, I was less than enamored with the organization as a whole. But I felt really stuck because it was a high-paying job, and I thought, well, what would I do if I was to leave? So I continued on with the job, and I took a trip to Egypt. And during that time, I think subconsciously asked for or invited Spirit to help me with this decision. And it was so clear in the Temple of Isis that it was time for me to leave. So I came back and I quit my very high-paying job at a time when the stock was near its overall height. And in fact, that summer it hit the highest level that it had ever been, and that's when I sold my stock options in the summer of 2006. If I'd waited and not followed this intuition, there would be a tremendous amount of money that I would have just simply lost had I stayed with that organization. That was clearly God working through me.
That's a wonderful example of how we can, in fact, know that this messaging, these leads from your CSO are actually helpful. They're not going to show up and tell you to do something that's not in alignment with your purpose, with your goals, and with the things that you want. We either take a step or we ask for another lead. If you don't say what you want, The CSO can't make the path and give you the steps. It's not going to dream up something that you should do. When something good happens on your way, when you have received a lead and you've taken that step, even though you might not know the rest of the steps in the process, that is cause for celebration. My good was, thank you so much, CSO, for increasing numbers of large customers to meet our sales goal for the year. So I ended up getting a request for proposal. Here we are, competing against Fortune 13, Fortune 15, Fortune 22, and 2 other companies. And we, our little company with like 10 employees, gets a request for proposal for a $3 million contract. Did that guarantee us the contract? No. No, it didn't. But it was cause for celebration because it was a sign that we at least had the opportunity. And I'm not going to go into the details, but we did win the contract. And we were not the least expensive. Part of this step also is noting, so writing it down. Why do we write it down? Because we want proof. Noting your demonstrations and going back to them and reminding yourself that what your CSO has done for your good, the CSO is going to do for your good again. My name is May McCarthy, and I'm here to teach you through workshops and through my upcoming book how to connect with your intuition to achieve greater levels of success and happiness and freedom. Thank you.